You have given this subject Paticca Samupada. One thing that I wish to correct this title, Paticca Samupada, does not only refer to the 12 links. I shall speak of the 12 links as a standard formula, but before I speak on the 12 links, I must first give you the definition and the meaning of the term Paticca Samupada. It is a very profound teaching. It is the central philosophy of Buddhism, and it is also in keeping with the middle path doctrine. Last night, the subject was the middle path, middle way, Noble Eightfold Path. Tonight also middle path. This doctrine is called a doctrine of middle path. And it avoids two extremes. Extreme of eternalism and the extreme of nihilism. I'll explain that afterwards. First of all, let us go to the meaning of this word, Paticca Samupada, the derivation of the word and its meaning. The word Paticca Samupada, there are two words there. Paticca Samupada. What is the meaning of Paticca? If you want to trace the etymology of it, it comes from the root word I and the prefix prati. Prati, I, here, gives the meaning of having come on account of. That is why this is how one word translation has given the meaning of dependent. And the other word, Samupada, it has the word sam and uppada. Uppada means arising. Samupada is translated as arising. And the commentary says that when it arises together, not singly, not without any cause. It arises together. Sam refers to together. Sam uppada. So, from here, we have to understand that when we use the word cause in Buddhism, we actually imply causes, because there is no singular, not in the singular. Although we use the term cause and effect, actually we mean a harmony of causes or conditions which can give rise to a certain effect. Because there is no one cause theory in Buddhism. Many causes, a few causes, related causes. So, from these word derivation, we get the meaning Paticca Samupada. The most common translation, which I think many of you have heard, could be dependent origination. Sometimes it is also used as causal genesis. Causal genesis. And it is also referred to as causality or conditionality. Sometimes they just use the word causation. Paticca Samupada. Now, what is the meaning of causality? What is the meaning of this? Causality, dependent origination, or conditionality? This term, Paticca Samupada, actually refers to the pattern in which changes or change takes place in things. Now, one of the salient characteristics of things, lakkhana or characteristics of all component things, is anicca, change. Now, how do change occurs? In what pattern, in what manner change occurs? Paticca Samupada explains. It explains the pattern in which change takes place in things. It's the pattern, the law. In the Paccaya Sutta, in the Samyutta Nikaya, or the discourse on causal relation, there is mention of two things which the Buddha discovered upon his enlightenment. Two very important things. One is the discovery of the law of Paticca Samupada, or the law of causality, conditionality, and the other one is Paticca Samuppanna Dhamma. Paticca Samuppanna Dhamma refers to causally conditioned phenomena or things. It refers to the things, those things that is subject to change. The other one, Paticca Samupada, refers to the pattern in which the changes take place in things. The things itself is referred to the nature of the things, Paticca Samupada. These two things the Buddha discovered upon enlightenment. It is actually from this Paticca Samupada that we get the teachings of the Four Noble Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path. And when we use the term to understand things as they are, to understand the nature of things, then it refers to this. To understand Paticca Samupada and also understand Paticca Samuppanna Dhamma. Tonight, I think we shall have barely sufficient time to discuss about Paticca Samupada. The nature of the Dhamma, we can leave it aside some other time. Just now I mentioned that Paticca Samupada is a middle path doctrine. It stays away from two extremes. One extreme is the doctrine of eternalism. The other is the doctrine of nihilism. The doctrine of eternalism implies that there is something that exists forever. And the other one implies that something after life, what happens? When a person dies, then nothing more. There is no survival after that. There is no rebirth, no reincarnation. Finish. That is nihilism. Now, to have an understanding of these two extremes, schools of thought, we should go back to the time of the Buddha and try to understand the philosophies or the schools of thought that existed during the time of the Buddha. During the time of the Buddha, there were quite a number of philosophers expounding their own doctrines, expounding their own teachings. They held various views about life, about the nature of life, the nature of the world. And especially so, they were trying to find out about the origin and how the world started, the origin of the world, and the extent of the world. They were trying to find out and answer that. Now, the text, the Buddhist text, mentions of 6 contemporary philosophers during the time of the Buddha. There were more, but 6 main ones. And their doctrines coincided. We can categorize their doctrines into 4. And these 4 we consider as pre-Buddhistic causal theories. The first theory of causation is known as self-causation. In Pali it is called sayang katang. When we say sayang, you mean some other thing. Sayang katang. Comes from the word saya. Saya is I, isn't it? Okay. Sayang katang or atta katang. It implies the doctrine of the self or the soul. And from this theory implies that everything has a reason from this self, this soul. From this soul there arises the manifestation. It is the self, the soul that speaks. It is the self, the soul that experiences. That does action, carries out action. And it also teaches about the evolution of the self, the soul. This is the doctrine of self-causation. Then, there are other teachers who taught about external causation. That means they try to explain how changes take place due to external things, not internal. They explain this doctrine includes a few theories. Theories about time. They believe, some teachers, some philosophers believe, time brings, time maintains, time destroys. They say the changes take place because of time, alavada. Sometimes you must have heard from some people say, don't worry, time will cure. You just, forget about your problem after some time, you'll be okay. Now, is time the cause of the cure? Or is it something else? What is time? Is time in the mind or mind in the time? Which one? Let us see whether you can understand or not. Is time in your mind or is your mind in the time? Which one? You cannot answer, you cannot get this one right, I stop here. You cannot understand the other. Very simple. Is time in the mind or mind in the time? What do you say? Sure, not mind in the time. He is right. So at least one person can understand. Time is in your mind. When somebody tells you it is 8 o'clock now, then you say, oh yes, very dark. And you have this concept of your time in mind. Somebody tells me 10 o'clock, then I say, I have to stop. Time is in my mind. If there is no watch, there is no clock, then there is no time. Time is in mind. So there were people who cling to this doctrine about time. Time actually creates, they say. Time maintains, time destroys. Then some other says that no, things have a reason due to creation. These are the creation by a creator, God, Ishvara. Actually, if you study Buddhism properly, all the basic, the foundations of all the religions that exist today, you can find in Buddhism, in the sense that you can find how the Buddha explained. It is all in this teaching because during the time of the Buddha, all these various schools of thought had already existed. There's really nothing new, no new religion today. Some believe in time, others believe in creation by God. That everything is created. This is an external causation, created by something outside. And then there are some other philosophers who taught of inherent nature. That means, they say, everything takes place due to nature, inherent nature, power, natural. And Buddhism was influenced by this also to some extent. Then, some other philosophers thought about action, karma. Of course, there are different interpretations for karma. And still some other philosophers thought about fate, F-A-T-E, fate. Niyativada, fatalism, predestination. Now, these theories, time, creation by God, inherent nature, action, fate, they came They are those theories that can be included under external causation. Not internal but external causation. Now, in most of these teachings, they say, for example, especially that one on Swabhava, inherent nature, they say that things changes, appears and disappears due to the natural laws, nature, by nature. So, you cannot control. There is no control. That is what is meant by determinism or fatalism. Many of these teachings were also grouped under deterministic theories. Then, there is another school of thought which teaches a mixture, a combination of internal causation as well as external causation. That means they accept the teaching of the soul itself as well as some other external cause. Both accepted. Jainism falls in this category. Buddhism still do not accept this. It is in the light of these various theories. Theory of external causation, internal causation, external causation, internal as well as external causation. There is one more. That is neither internal nor external causation. These are the teachings of certain materialistic schools, or the Uchedavada. From very early times there have been materialistic thinkers. They don't believe in theories of causation. They say that things have come about by chance, by accident. You came here by accident. Just appeared here. That is that they believe in that. Now, these four types of theories of causation can again be classified under Vedic and non-Vedic teaching. According to the Vedic teaching, according to the Vedic Upanishads, we have the theory of internal causation. They accept the soul theory. They accept also one aspect of external causation, the creation of God. These two things are contained in the Vedic teaching. Then there are the non-Vedic teachings. That means the rest falls under the non-Vedic teaching. Actually, these non-Vedic teachings have arisen as a challenge to the Vedic teaching. So some of the basic thoughts are originated from Vedic teachings, from the Vedas. It is in the light of these different teachings about causal phenomena, causal relation, how things arise, that the Buddha discovered and propounded, expounded Paticca Samupada. Paticca Samupada is that law, the teaching, which he realized, he discovered upon enlightenment. And he declares that this law, dependent origination or conditionality, is a universal law, he says. The universality of Paticca Samupada can be seen in that saying of the Buddha, which says, whether a Tathagata arise or not, Paticca Samupada is there, it exists. It is only through his enlightened mind that he sees the nature of things, the nature of causal relations. And then he explains what this causality is about, the pattern, how changes take place. And the very popular formula is found with that 12 links. But usually, in the early discourses, before we come to the 12 links, there is a general formula. The general formula reads like this. In Pali, it reads as Imasming Sati Idam Hoti. Imasupada Idam Upajjati. Imasming Asati Idam Na Hoti. Imasa Niroda Idam Nirujjati. Can you repeat? And this is very important formula. What is the meaning? How you translate? Imasming sati idam hoti. Here sati does not mean the satipatthana, mindfulness. Sati means it's a verb to be. Imasming. Imasming is this. Imasming sati. When this exists, idam hoti. Idam is also this, but a little bit further. But in English, we cannot say when this exists, this exists. We can say when this exists, that exists. Imasming sati idam hoti. When this exists, that exists. Imasupada idam upajjati. With the arising of this, that arises. Imasming asati idam na hoti. When this is not present, that is not present. Imasming niroda, imasa niroda, idam nirujjati. The ceasing of this, with the ceasing, cessation of this, that ceases. This is the general formula. Simple, isn't it? But this is how all the phenomena, mental, physical phenomena, operates at this level. And this formula can be understood as conditionality. Now, let us take some example, otherwise you cannot understand when I say when this exists, this exists. This exists, that exists. When you have, what is this color? White. What is this color? This light color, this dark color. Okay? When there is this light, there is dark. When there is day, when day exists, then night exists. When there is no day, no sun, there is no night. Or there is all night. Whatever it is. Huh? The other thing is, you have one long pencil and one short one. When there is the long one, then you can say there is a short one. If both are of equal length, there is, can you say there is long and short? This is also the doctrine of relativity, conditionality and relativity. Right?